Donald Trump can't help himself from being blatantly racist. We saw it yesterday at the National Association of Black Journalists, but Donald Trump didn't think that horrible interview, maybe the worst he's ever given, was enough. And so he has taken to Truth Social to hammer home the point that he is a complete racist and just a weird and disgraceful person. Of course, we already knew this, but his attacks on Kamala Harris have just become even stranger and stranger. But for those of you who haven't seen the clip of him at the National Association of Black Journalists yesterday, I wanted to play it for a little bit of context.
I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much, and she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always identified as a black woman.
I respect either one. I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't.
So Donald Trump has this new strange attack on Kamala Harris, saying that she turned black, trying to accuse her of trying to use her identity to win votes, which really doesn't make a lot of sense considering Donald Trump uses his mugshot and the fact that he sells sneakers to try to appeal to the black community in the most racist way possible, saying, "Oh, I'm a criminal. I have a mugshot. Now they'll like me more." Just what a strange and condescending thing to say. But this is Donald Trump's new attack on Kamala Harris. And because of that, he has taken to Truth Social and he's decided to start making posts about Kamala Harris's Indian heritage, thinking that that'll get her. That's a good attack. And it's just become racist and weird. And he has done it again. Let's check it out. Trump posted, "Thank you, Kamala, for the nice picture you sent from many years ago. Your warmth, friendship, and love of your Indian heritage are very much appreciated." And he attached this photo in the Truth Social post. Now, clearly, Donald Trump doesn't understand what it means to have a multiracial family, to have a mother of Indian descent and a father of Jamaican descent like Kamala Harris does. But I guess he's trying to attack her for her Indian heritage. And that was, clearly a photo with her mom and her mom's family, and they were celebrating their background and where they've come from. And I don't know how that's an attack. But Donald Trump continues to do it. Yesterday, he also posted this video of Mindy Kaling, a very prominent and famous and successful and incredible Indian American actress, and Kamala Harris doing a little bit of cooking. And he just couldn't handle himself posting this. Crazy Kamala is saying she's Indian, not black. This is a big deal. Stone cold phony. She uses everybody, including her racial identity. So in that video, Mindy Kaling says to Kamala Harris, "Oh, everyone comes up to me and says, 'Did you know that Kamala Harris was Indian?'" And Donald Trump is trying to use that as a way to attack Kamala Harris, saying that she's not black. But no, it just shows that many people don't know that Kamala Harris is Indian because the only part of her background that they know is that she's black. But no, she is both of Jamaican and Indian descent from her father and mother's side. And Donald Trump really can't wrap his mind around that. And so he's decided to just use it as these weird racist attacks on Kamala Harris that make no sense at all. But of course, Kamala Harris has a level-headed response to all of this, and I just want to play it.
We all here remember what those 4 years were like. And today, we were given yet another reminder. This afternoon, Donald Trump spoke at the annual meeting of the National Association of Black Journalists. And it was the same old show. The divisiveness and the disrespect. And let me just say, the American people deserve better. The American people deserve better. The American people deserve a leader who tells the truth, a leader who does not respond with hostility and anger when confronted with the facts. We deserve a leader who understands that our differences do not divide us. They are an essential source of our strength. So I say to Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, ours is a fight for the future.
Kamala Harris has dealt with attacks from despicable people like Donald Trump during her entire political career. So, of course, that clip just shows that these things roll off her back. She does not care. What she cares about is governing for the American people. And she knows that Donald Trump can't do that, and she knows that she can. And so that clip really says it all. But I think it's also important to read the statement that Kamala Harris made via her campaign after Donald Trump's, I don't even want to call it an interview, disaster of an interview with the National Association of Black Journalists, because I think it's really important. The hostility Donald Trump showed on stage today is the same hostility he has shown throughout his life, throughout his term in office, and throughout his campaign for president, as he seeks to regain power and inflict his harmful Project 2025 agenda on the American people. Trump lobbed personal attacks and insults at black journalists the same way he did throughout his presidency. While he failed black families and left the entire country digging out of the ditch he left us in, Donald Trump has already proven he cannot unite America, so he attempts to divide us. Today's tirade is simply a taste of the chaos and division that has been a hallmark of Trump's MAGA rallies this entire campaign. It's also exactly what the American people will see from across the debate stage as Vice President Harris offers a vision of opportunity and freedom for all Americans. All Donald Trump needs to do is stop playing games and actually show up to the debate on September 10th. Now, I want to get more into this potential debate, the debate that Donald Trump is currently ducking because he's so scared, and we're going to talk about that in just 1 second, but I love that response from Kamala Harris talking about the chaos that has been the hallmark of the entirety of Donald Trump's political career, his presidency, his attempts running for office, and I think it's so important that she continues to refocus this campaign. That's what Kamala Harris does. She can't be shaken by Donald Trump's ridiculous attacks. She just refocuses and refocuses and refocuses, because she doesn't care about Donald Trump. Of course, she wants to beat Donald Trump, but she doesn't care about Donald Trump and what he has to say. She wants to make sure that Donald Trump isn't in power anymore, that Donald Trump can't hurt the American people. That's where her focus is. And, we've been talking a lot about these ridiculous attacks that Donald Trump has made, and someone who responded to them, who I think said something really important and powerful, was Congressman Maxwell Frost, who had this to say on Twitter in response to Donald Trump. During my primary race, some folks said similar things about me. That I wasn't actually black because my mom is Cuban, or that I'm not actually Latino because I'm black. We need to fiercely call out this type of bigotry and ignorance. This is not new from MAGA. These attacks aren't just coming from Donald Trump, and I think it is important that we call them out far and wide and point to the fact that if this is the best thing that MAGA can try to attack our candidates over, it's because they have nothing real to talk about. Of course, these are disgraceful attacks, but it just shows how incompetent and unable to govern they are. They have no policy to talk about. They have no record to run on. They have no agenda that is forward-looking that they can bring to the table. No, they have disgraceful attacks, and they just make them look ridiculous. And someone who completely agrees with that and called out Donald Trump on Fox News, which I always love when Trump gets called out on Fox News, was Jessica Tarlov. And I want to play this clip of her.
Your reaction to what we saw?
My reaction is that it was a complete, absolute dumpster fire for the former president. I don't feel the need to give him any credit for showing up there because he came with a terrible attitude. He hit all of his regular hits, lying about his record for Black Americans. The comparison saying he's done the most for the Black community since Abraham Lincoln is obviously ridiculous. Unemployment is lower for Black Americans under Joe Biden than Donald Trump. Everybody knows that. Even Donald Trump knows that. People have told him. He just won't stop. I thought that he was rude and offensive to the questioners. I don't think, in response to what Joe was saying, that asking him, for instance, about calling Kamala Harris a DEI hire is going into debate mode. This is who his opponent is, and then his response that she used to be Indian and is now somehow Black was offensive no matter the color of their skin.
All right, look, she has an Indian mother and a Jamaican father.
Right,
I don't know why we have to... But she has an Indian mother and a Black father. So those are two different backgrounds. This is... I just want to back up for a second here.
Just perfect, as always, on the Fox Propaganda Network. I hope Donald Trump was watching. He's always watching Fox, and you've seen him post on Truth Social more about how upset he is with Fox News, saying that they're the enemy or they're putting the enemy on whenever a Democrat comes on or Jessica Tarlov says the truth or they're airing one of Kamala Harris's rallies. You can see Donald Trump seethe and get so angry that he just can't handle himself. And one of those examples was after Kamala Harris's rally in Atlanta this week, where she really just called Donald Trump out in the most perfect way that really upset him. And he went on this whole tirade on Truth Social. At first, let's get to what Kamala Harris had to say.
I do hope you'll reconsider to meet me on the debate stage. Because as the saying goes, if you've got something to say,
obviously, as we've talked about, Donald Trump is afraid to debate because he has no policy. He has no good policy, at least. We see him try to run away from Project 2025, try to abandon it entirely, try to disconnect himself from it. And the same thing with J.D. Vance. He's really just trying to get rid of his running mate at this point as well. But it's not just that he has bad policy why he's afraid to debate. He's afraid to debate also because of the contrast the American people will see between him and Kamala Harris. And part of that contrast, as Kamala Harris said, was, just how racist Donald Trump is, how gross he is, how awful these attacks that he is making are. No one wants a leader who is a bully. And Donald Trump tries to present himself as this tough, strong, macho man, but there's nothing tough about making gross attacks. And that's what Donald Trump is about. And so, of course, he doesn't want to get on the debate stage. Of course, he doesn't want tens of millions of people, maybe 100 million people, to see that horrible behavior from him, to be reminded of the chaos of the Trump presidency. And so he is terrified to debate Kamala Harris, not only because he knows he would lose because of her, but he knows he would lose because of himself, because of how unappealing he is to really, it should be every American, but most Americans. And I think that instead, if Donald Trump is not going to go on the debate stage, we need to make the case. We need to be pushing out these clips of Trump. We need to show his disgraceful attacks because we need to make sure that people are ready to turn out against Donald Trump in November. And so if you would do me a favor and share this channel, or maybe just share this video with a friend or a family member, and to help grow this community so we can fight back against Donald Trump, it would really go a long way. And I think it's incredibly important to keep pushing this message. And if you want to become part of this channel, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. You join what we are building here. In less than a month, because of you, we have already blown past 100,000 subscribers. This is a movement with momentum, and I am so proud of what we've already built and what we are continuing to build. And as always, if you like this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up, hit that like button. It really goes a long way and would mean the world to me. And until next time, I'll see you soon.